I stood in the middle of my husband's office Christmas party, 6 months pregnant, wearing a borrowed dress. His mistress had just handed me a mop, calling me the help in front of everyone. My husband laughed. What none of them knew? My father owned the building, and he'd just walked in. Before we dive into this story of ultimate revenge, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you won't want to miss how this ends. And stick around until the very end. The final twist will leave you speechless. Now let's begin. My name is Leilani Wallace, though for the past 3 years I've been going by Leilani Hart. Yes, Wallace, as in Gregory Wallace, the trillionaire who owns Henderson Global Empire. 47 companies across 6 continents, real estate portfolios that would make your head spin, luxury hotels, private airlines, and a net worth that hovers around $50 billion. He's my father, but Hudson, my husband, had no idea. When I met Hudson 3 years ago at a community center where I was volunteering, I made a choice. I changed my last name, moved to a modest neighborhood, and lived a completely normal life. I wanted to be loved for who I was, not for the zeros in my family's bank account. I'd seen too many friends, too many people in my social circle get used and discarded by gold diggers. I wanted something real, something pure. Hudson seemed perfect. He was ambitious, charming, working his way up as a marketing professional. We fell in love, or at least I thought we did. He proposed after 6 months, and we married in a small ceremony. I never told him about my father. Only my dad and his personal lawyer knew I'd gotten married, and my father didn't approve. He said Hudson seemed too focused on appearances, too hungry for status, but he respected my choice and stayed silent. For the first 2 years, things were beautiful. Hudson climbed the corporate ladder at Henderson Global. Ironic, isn't it? And I played the supportive wife. When I got pregnant, I thought we'd reached the peak of our happiness. But that's when everything changed. 8 months ago, Hudson transformed into someone I didn't recognize. He stopped touching me, moved to the guest room, claiming he needed better sleep for work. He became obsessed with his phone, taking calls outside, coming home smelling of expensive perfume that wasn't mine. The warmth in his eyes when he looked at me turned to something else. Disappointment, maybe even disgust. I'm not stupid. 2 months ago, I hired a private investigator. I didn't use my family name or connections, just paid cash like any desperate wife would. The photos came back within a week. Hudson and his assistant, Vanessa Clark. Hotel rooms, candlelit dinners, her wearing jewelry I'd admired months ago, pieces Hudson claimed were too expensive for our budget. I cried for 3 days. Then I got angry. Then I got smart. I called my father for the first time in months. "Dad," I said, "I need your help. But not yet. I need to see something first." He understood immediately. My father didn't build an empire by being naive. He knew I needed to see who Hudson truly was when the mask came off. The Henderson Global Christmas Gala was the perfect opportunity. Hudson came home 2 weeks before the party, barely containing his excitement. "Leilani, the annual gala is coming up. It's at the Wallace Grand Ballroom. Biggest event of the year. 500 guests, live orchestra, the CEO himself is attending." He didn't notice me flinch at the ballroom's name. My grandfather had built it. This is my chance to shine. I'm being considered for vice president. He looked at my pregnant belly with something like annoyance. "You should probably stay home. You've been tired, and it's a really important night for me." I smiled sweetly. I wouldn't miss it for the world. His face fell, just for a second, before he recovered. "Oh, well, okay then." That night, I heard him on the phone in the bathroom. "Don't worry, she probably won't even come, and if she does, she won't stay long. She doesn't fit in with these people." I packed a special envelope in my purse that night. Divorce papers, pre-signed. I was ready. The night of the gala, I dressed deliberately. A simple cream-colored maternity dress I'd borrowed from my neighbor, my old brown coat, flat shoes, no jewelry, no makeup beyond the basics. I wanted to see exactly how Hudson would treat me when I was an embarrassment to him. He'd left early, didn't offer me a ride. I took a taxi. When I arrived at the Wallace Grand Ballroom, my breath caught despite everything. I'd seen it decorated for Christmas before, but this year they'd outdone themselves. A 50-foot Christmas tree stood in the center, its branches dripping with what I knew were real diamonds, my father's signature touch. Ice sculptures of reindeer held frozen roses in their mouths. Artificial snow fell gently from the ceiling, disappearing before it touched the ground. White birch trees wrapped in golden lights lined the walls. Crystal chandeliers wore red ribbons and gold bells. The orchestra played Carol of the Bells as guests mingled in their designer gowns and custom tuxedos. Everyone looked like they'd stepped out of a winter fairy tale. Women wore floor-length gowns in silver, gold, navy, burgundy, and white, their necks dripping with diamonds and pearls. Men strutted in designer tuxedos, some in velvet jackets, all carrying themselves with the confidence that comes from seven-figure salaries. And then there was me. Cream, maternity dress, brown coat, flat shoes. I spotted Hudson immediately. He wore a custom navy blue velvet tuxedo I'd never seen before, his hair slicked back, a watch on his wrist that cost more than our monthly rent. He was laughing with a group of executives, champagne in hand. Then he saw me. His face went through several emotions in rapid succession: shock, anger, disgust. He excused himself and walked over, grabbing my arm and pulling me to a corner. "What are you doing here?" His voice was low, harsh. "You invited me," I said calmly. "This is a company party. I'm your wife." "I told you this was important. You look—" He stopped himself, but I finished for him. "I look like I don't belong?" He didn't deny it, just looked away. "Maybe you should have stayed home." Before I could respond, a voice like honey laced with poison called out, "Hudson, there you are." Vanessa Clark glided toward us, and I had to admit she was stunning. A silver sequined gown that hugged every curve, backless, with a diamond necklace that caught the light with every movement. Her platinum heels made her tower over me. She looked like a Christmas angel, an expensive, vengeful angel. She linked her arm through Hudson's boss's arm, Mr. Peterson, a portly man in his 50s who was clearly enjoying the attention of a beautiful young woman. But her eyes were on Hudson, possessive and triumphant. "Oh, Hudson, I didn't know we were doing charity work tonight." Her eyes swept over me, lingering on my belly, my dress, my old coat. "Is this the wife you mentioned? How quaint." She reached out and touched Hudson's chest, her fingers playing with his lapel. He didn't move away, actually smiled at her. I felt every eye in the vicinity turn to us. Someone pulled out their phone. I noticed security cameras in the corners, and I knew my father was watching. He'd promised to monitor everything. A woman in a gold gown approached, clearly trying to be kind. "Oh, how sweet that you came to support Hudson." Hudson's response cut through me like a knife. "She wasn't actually invited." He turned his back on me. Actually turned his back on his pregnant wife and walked away with Vanessa and the others. I stood there, holding my old coat, feeling the weight of hundreds of eyes on me. Some looked pitying, others looked amused, a few looked disgusted. Whether with me or with Hudson, I couldn't tell. I moved to the coat check, thinking I'd at least get rid of the shabby coat. The attendant, a young woman who'd clearly been influenced by Vanessa's crowd, looked at me skeptically. "Ma'am, this is for guests only." Before I could respond, Vanessa appeared again like a bad penny. "It's fine, she can keep it. She'll need it when she leaves, which should be soon." I clutched my coat and walked away, finding an empty table in the corner. From there, I watched the party unfold. Hudson was in his element, networking, laughing, drinking. Vanessa was never far from his side, touching his arm, whispering in his ear. They looked like a couple, a perfect, beautiful, successful couple, and I looked like the mistake he'd made 3 years ago. A group of women approached my table, led by Vanessa. "Ladies, meet Hudson's wife, 6 months along." One woman, genuinely kind, said, "Congratulations. Your first?" Vanessa's voice dripped venom. "Yes, it's amazing what some women will do to trap a man. Get pregnant and suddenly they're entitled to everything." She touched her own flat stomach. "I believe in earning a man's love, not trapping him with a baby." Hudson was standing nearby. I know he heard her. He looked uncomfortable for a moment, then walked away. My mother died giving birth to me. The comment about trapping men with babies hit me in a place I didn't know could still hurt. Tears formed in my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. "My baby is not a trap," I said quietly. "She's a blessing." Vanessa laughed, loud enough for others to hear. "Keep telling yourself that, sweetheart." The cruelty escalated as the night went on. During the gift exchange, a company tradition where executives exchanged expensive presents, someone had put my name in as a joke. When they called Mrs. Hudson Hart, I had to walk to the stage in front of everyone. I opened the elegant box to find cleaning supplies, a mop, a bucket, rubber gloves, an apron that said "The Help" in glittering letters. The crowd gasped. Some laughed nervously. Hudson's face showed pure embarrassment, not for me, but of me. Vanessa led the laughter. "How thoughtful! Practical gifts are the best." I carried the box back to my table, my hands shaking. I noticed Patricia, my father's assistant, standing in a corner. She gave me a subtle nod. Everything was being recorded. Every cruel word, every laugh, every moment of my humiliation was being captured. Then came the moment that would change everything. A waiter accidentally spilled red wine near my table. It splashed across the white marble floor, spreading like blood on snow. Vanessa's voice rang out across the ballroom. "Oh no! Someone clean this immediately!" She looked directly at me, her eyes glittering with malice. She reached for the mop from my gift box and held it out to me. "Well, you have the supplies. Make yourself useful since you're clearly not here for conversation. Come on, the help should help, right?" The room fell silent. Everyone was watching. Phones were out, recording. This was entertainment to them. The pregnant wife being humiliated by the beautiful mistress, and my husband, the man who'd promised to love and cherish me, stood right there. I looked at him, silently begging him to defend me, to say something, anything. He avoided my eyes, then let out a nervous laugh. "Vanessa, you're terrible." But he was smiling. Then he looked at me with something like pity. "But honey, maybe you should just go home. You look tired. This isn't really your scene." Something inside me broke, but it wasn't my spirit. It was the last chain holding back my true self. I stood up slowly, 6 months pregnant, and looked at the mop in Vanessa's outstretched hand. The room was completely silent now. Even the orchestra had stopped playing. I didn't take the mop. Instead, I looked at Hudson. "Do you love her?" he stammered. "What? No, Do you love her?" Vanessa wrapped her arms around him possessively. "Does it matter?" Hudson actually pushed me away gently, like I was a child interrupting adult conversation. "Just go home, Leilani. You're making a scene." I smiled then. A real smile. "You're right, I am going home. To my home." Vanessa laughed. "Your home? You mean Hudson's apartment?" "We'll see," I said mysteriously. That's when the lights dimmed. The orchestra began playing Carol of the Bells again, but slower, more dramatic. A spotlight hit the main doors. The snow began falling heavier from the ceiling. An announcer's voice boomed through the ballroom. "Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the founder and CEO of Henderson Global Empire, owner of 47 companies across 6 continents, Mr. Gregory Wallace." Hudson straightened his tie, excited. "This is it. My chance to impress the boss." Vanessa adjusted her dress, ready to network her way up. I just waited. The doors opened and my father entered. He was flanked by 6 security guards, his lawyer, Patricia, and, to everyone's surprise, 2 police officers. My father is 65, with silver hair and a presence that commands attention. Tonight he wore a charcoal wool tuxedo with platinum cufflinks that caught the light. He looked every inch the billionaire he was. His eyes scanned the room and found me immediately. He saw my tear-stained face, the mop lying on the floor near my table, my old brown coat clutched in my hands, his jaw clenched with barely controlled fury. He walked straight toward me, and the crowd parted like the Red Sea. Hudson started to step forward, hand extended. "Mr. Wallace, sir, I'm Hudson Hart, Senior Marketing Director." My father held up one hand, silencing him without a word. He didn't even look at Hudson. He reached me, and his voice softened. "Did someone hurt you, sweetheart?" The room went dead silent. You could hear snow falling. "Sweetheart?" someone whispered. My father gently took my hand. "I'm sorry I'm late, Princess. Traffic was terrible." Then he turned to face the crowd, his voice booming with authority. "Someone want to explain why my daughter, my pregnant daughter, was handed cleaning supplies as a joke?" Gasps echoed through the ballroom like a wave. Hudson's face went completely white. "Daughter?" Vanessa stood frozen, mouth open. "Yes," my father said, "my daughter, Leilani Wallace, or as some of you called her tonight, the help." Patricia stepped forward with a tablet. "Sir, we have everything recorded. Security footage, phone videos, audio recordings, all 47 minutes of harassment." Hudson stumbled forward. "Mr. Wallace, Leilani Wallace? You never told me your father was—" I found my voice then, strong and clear. "Was what? Rich? Would that have changed how you treated me tonight? Would you have still laughed when your mistress humiliated me?" Vanessa tried to slip away toward the exit, but my father snapped his fingers. "Security. No one leaves." Hudson's mind was clearly racing. "Wait, you own this company? You own the apartment building we live in? You own everything?" "My father does," I said calmly. "I chose to live simply, to find someone who loved me, not my money." "Congratulations, Hudson. You proved I was right to hide it." Patricia began projecting videos on the massive screens around the ballroom. Everyone watched in horror as the night's events played out. Vanessa's cruel comments about my baby being a trap, Hudson laughing at me, the gift exchange humiliation, the mop scene, Hudson telling me to go home. My father's voice was ice cold. "This is how you treat your wife? Your pregnant wife?" Hudson tried to explain. "Sir, I can explain. She was acting strange, I thought." "You thought what?" My father interrupted. "That she deserved this?" He turned to Vanessa, who was shaking. "Ms. Vanessa Clark, correct? You work in our marketing department. Senior assistant?" She nodded, unable to speak. "Not anymore." He snapped his fingers and security approached. "You're terminated immediately." Vanessa found her voice. "You can't. I have a contract." My father's lawyer stepped forward. "Your contract has a morality clause. Harassment of fellow employees. Violation grounds for immediate dismissal. 0 severance. 0 recommendations." Vanessa screamed. "This is because of her? She showed up looking like trash. I thought she was—" "You thought wrong," my father said quietly. "About everything. Security, escort her out. She has 5 minutes to clear her desk." Vanessa turned to Hudson desperately. "Do something!" Hudson stood silent, in shock. "You coward!" she screamed at him. "You said you loved me. You said we'd be together once you divorced her." The crowd gasped again. Confirmation of the affair. Security dragged Vanessa away, her screams echoing through the ballroom. My father turned to Hudson. "Mr. Hudson Hart, 3 years with my company, recently promoted to senior marketing director." Hudson nodded hopefully. "Yes, sir, I've worked very hard." "You're also terminated." "What?" "But sir, I'm up for VP." "You were. Past tense. Let me be clear. You're not just fired from this position. You're blacklisted from every company I have influence with, which, if you weren't aware, is most Fortune 500 companies." Hudson's knees buckled. "You can't do this. I have rights. I'll sue." The lawyer stepped forward again. "Mr. Hart, you signed a comprehensive contract, Clause 47. Conduct unbecoming of company values. You violated harassment policies, morality standards, and family values clauses." He showed receipts on the screen. "Additionally, we have evidence of misuse of company resources. Hotel rooms booked on the company card for Ms. Clark. Expensive dinners, gifts, all charged to client entertainment. That's embezzlement, Mr. Hart." The police officer stepped forward. "Mr. Hart, we need you to come with us. Questions regarding fraudulent expense reports." Hudson looked at me, disbelief and anger warring on his face. "You planned this? You set me up?" I stepped forward and I felt different, stronger. I was Leilani Wallace now, not the meek wife he'd been embarrassed by. I pulled the envelope from my purse. I didn't set you up, Hudson. You destroyed yourself. I handed him the divorce papers. Pre-signed by me. My lawyer will contact you about custody arrangements. He grabbed my arm. Leilani, please, I love you. We can work this out. I made mistakes, but... I pulled free. You love me? You let her humiliate me. You laughed while she called our baby a trap. You told me to go home like I was an embarrassment. That's not love, Hudson. That's cruelty. My father added one more blow. Oh, and Hudson, about that apartment? The one you told Leilani to go home to? I own that building. You're evicted effective immediately. Your car? Company lease? Being repossessed? Your country club membership? My club, revoked. The watch on your wrist? Company gift. Hand it over. Hudson removed the watch with shaking hands, his whole world crumbling. You wanted my daughter for what she could give you, my father said. Now you have nothing. Seems fitting. Just then, Vanessa burst back in, security chasing her. She ran to Hudson. Baby, tell them we're in love. We'll fight this together. Hudson pushed her away violently. Get away from me. This is your fault. You ruined everything. My fault, she screamed. You pursued me. You said your wife was boring, plain, beneath you. They turned on each other, screaming, blaming, as the crowd watched in stunned silence. My father turned to the 500 guests. Let this be a lesson to everyone here. Henderson Global was built on family values, loyalty, integrity, respect. What happened tonight was the opposite. Anyone who participated in humiliating Mrs. Wallace, and yes, she's still a Wallace, Hart was just a name she used, you have 1 week to submit written apologies, or join Mr. Hart and Ms. Clark in unemployment. There was an immediate scramble. Executives rushed toward me. Mrs. Wallace, we're so sorry. We had no idea. I looked at them calmly. You knew I was pregnant. You knew I was someone's wife. That should have been enough. I clutched my stomach then, the stress of the evening finally catching up with me. A doctor who'd been attending the party rushed over. The stress? The baby. Hudson panicked. Is she okay? My father blocked him from approaching. You've done enough. The doctor checked me quickly. She's fine, but she needs rest. I looked at Hudson one last time. This baby will know her grandfather. She'll know her worth, but she'll never know you. You'll get supervised visitation if you're lucky, but I will not let you poison her with your values. Hudson broke down. Please, she's my daughter too. I'll change. I'll be better. You had 3 years to be better, I said softly. Tonight was your final exam. You failed. My father helped me with my coat, the old brown one, and I wore it with pride now. I turned to the crowd one final time. I wore this coat tonight on purpose. I wanted to see who I really married. I wanted to see if Hudson loved me, or loved what he thought I was. Turns out, he loved neither. He loved an illusion, and so did I. I took my father's arm, and we walked through the parted crowd. The orchestra began playing Silent Night. Snow was still falling. I felt like a queen walking through her kingdom. Behind me, Hudson, handcuffed by police, whispered, I'm so sorry. I didn't look back. 6 months later, I'm sitting in a beautiful nursery, holding my daughter, Grace Wallace. I live in the family estate now, but in a small, comfortable wing. I'm not hiding anymore, but I'm not flaunting my wealth either. I started the Grace Foundation, which helps women escape bad marriages. We provide legal aid, housing, job training, counseling. In 6 months, we've helped over 200 women. Hudson lost everything. He was convicted of embezzlement and got 2 years probation and community service. He works at a used car dealership now, lives in a studio apartment, and sees Grace once a month under supervision. He begs for reconciliation every time. I refuse. Vanessa moved to a different state. She's blacklisted from every major company. Last I heard, she works retail. 15 executives were fired from Henderson Global. 30 more submitted written apologies. The company has a new zero-tolerance harassment policy. As for me, I'm the VP of Henderson Global Foundation now. I use my platform to help others. That Christmas party went viral. Videos leaked online, millions of views. I became a symbol of know your worth. I receive messages daily from women inspired by my story, and you know what? I don't regret any of it, not hiding my identity, not the humiliation, not even the pain, because it revealed the truth, and the truth, no matter how painful, set me free. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button right now. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss another story. Drop a comment below telling me, would you have revealed your identity sooner or waited like I did? And here's the real question. Do you think Hudson deserves a second chance? If you know someone who needs to hear this story, someone who's forgotten their worth, share this video with them. Sometimes we all need a reminder that we're worth more than how we're treated. Remember, your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. You are enough, exactly as you are. I'll see you in the next story. Until then, know your worth and never settle for less.
Thank you for listening to this story until the end. Hopefully every moment, every detail in the story has brought you emotions, thoughts, and maybe a little joy or motivation. Thank you for spending time with us, and hope that the next stories will continue to accompany you and touch your heart.